Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Saturday, everyone. It is time for an episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. And being a Saturday, worked on my own stuff and just having a lot of fun working on the split window here. So I've been keeping up on that vein. Got kind of a lot of things in motion here for this car, primarily with the interior. And so I'm going to talk about that some and what this hidden treasure is that I referred to, which nerds like me get pretty excited over stuff like this, and I'll show you in a little bit what I found, and hopefully you'll see why I'm excited about it. Anyway, so let's start off with if I can get into this car here without a door handle on it. There we go. So one thing that has bugged me about this car pretty much since I got it is I was pretty sure that they had the door mechanism. So that includes there's a rod that runs from the remote here to the actual door mechanism here, and was pretty sure that those mechanisms were swapped on the car left to right. And the reason for that is that on these early cars, the passenger door could only be locked and unlocked with the inside handle. So you'd rotate the inside handle forward like that, and it would lock the door. There's no key on the outside, just locking it there. And then on the driver door, you couldn't lock it from the inside. You could only lock it from the outside with a key. So I don't know what you would do if you were in, like, say, a sketchy neighborhood and you needed to lock both doors if you were in the car. I guess you'd have to roll the window down and lock it with the key. And I don't know, guys. Anyway, maybe that wasn't really a concern back then, you know. But regardless, the car, when I got it and up until literally, earlier today, you could lock the driver door with the door handle, but not the passenger door. So I was like, this has just got to be assembled wrong. And so I pulled out both door mechanisms, and sure enough, the one with the lock on it was on this side, and the one without was on that side. So took those apart and cleaned them, and let me show you guys how the door locks work on these early cars. So it's kind of different than you think. It doesn't disable the handle in the way that it does on a later car. What it does is there's actually a little, essentially like a deadbolt right here. So watch when I do the handle. So that little deadbolt comes out and essentially locks against the striker plate. There we go. Locks against the striker plate, and that's what prevents you from opening the door. So the handle still works, and the striker here still works and stuff, but you can't open the door because, again, it's essentially got a deadbolt on it. So I'll show you this here. So there's unlocked. Okay, so now if we close it, close it all the way, you can open it as normal. But then if I do that deadbolt like I did before, see, it won't open now because that thing is stuck against the striker. So then if you do want to open it, then you just go like you're opening it the regular way from the inside, and it pulls that thing back, and voila, the door opens from inside or outside. So that's been bugging me pretty much since I owned the car, and I was pretty sure that somebody had just swapped those mechanisms left to right. So super happy when I started tearing stuff apart and found out that that was actually what was going on. So took care of that today, and now I do have the correct non-locking one on this side. And I think I mentioned earlier, I have never had door keys for this car, and at some point I did buy a key blank for this handle, and I'm actually going to send the handle and the blank key that I have to, and I'm blanking on her name, but there's a lady locally, well, in Santiago, who I think she goes by like VW Key Girl or Lady or something. I don't know. I'll try and put it in the description. Anyway, I'm going to send the handle and the blank I have to her, and hopefully she can read the code off it and make the key work for this. And then lo and behold, I will have locking drivers and passenger doors for this car. So super excited about that. You know, it's those little details like that that just, I don't know, those things bug me when they don't work or they're wrong or whatever. And you know, not that I would like take this car and leave it somewhere overnight per se, but you know, sometimes you want to run in a store when you're out and about in your classic Volkswagen, and people are weird about messing with people's cars. Like, they think because it's a classic car they can just like open it and start looking in it. No. So I'm actually very excited about the ability that I will have soon to lock the car, drivers and passenger side. So now is the time to do this stuff, because I won't be driving the car for a little while since we're redoing all the interior, you know, door panels, etc. So I'm like, you know what, let me fix this stuff finally and do it upright. So there you go. All right, let me walk over here real quick and show you the seat frames for this car. So I had my upholstery guy, Santiago, went ahead and pulled off all the upholstery off these. And the seat frames for this car, guys, are just in fairly amazing condition. Usually on almost any VW that we do upholstery on, there's like broken springs all over the place and the frames are mangled and mutilated and stuff. These are actually probably some of the nicer frames I've seen, especially considering their age. The car is, of course, a 52, and so these seat frames have been around for a while. The cool thing you can see looking at them is just sort of the relative simplicity, especially on like the backrest of the back seat, and here's the backrests of the front seats. They're just a bit more simple overall, I'd say, than later seat frames, as far as like the numbers of springs and stuff like that in them. So really kind of cool. But anyway, those seat frames are going to be going out to powder coating on Monday, along with the parts that I think I showed you guys last week that are for the windows, the window felt channels and stuff like that. So yeah, taking a big batch of stuff for this car to powder coating on Monday. And okay, guys, let me show you the treasures, plural, that I found when we were when Santiago was removing the upholstery. So here's the upholstery that we pulled off, and I think I mentioned before that I'm gonna just go ahead and give all this upholstery to my buddy Eric at Garage Graphics. He's putting together a patina split window that this stuff is going to be perfect for, because you know, this upholstery essentially is kind of patina looking. It's faded, it's a little ratty, but I don't think it even has any tears in it, but it's definitely like faded and has a lot of you know, character, for lack of a better word. So I'm actually very excited for him to use this on his patina car. So under these seat covers was this, and this, guys, and this is what I'm so excited about, this is actually the original standard upholstery on this car. And the back seat, both pieces were there. So this is the backrest of the back seat, and then the bottom of the back seat. Oh, there it is there. And then the backrests of both front seats were there. Unfortunately, the seat bottoms for the front seat were not there underneath this upholstery. I guess when whoever upholstered these with this stuff did it, that the bottoms of the front seats were just too far gone. So rather than cover over it, they must have just yanked them off. So let's go over here and take a look. So here is the new material. This is manufactured by I think his screen name is Beetle Key, a guy named Marcus Recchi in Germany. So this is the material he makes for this car, and it's a good match. I think, to me, it seems a little different, or it could just be the way that it faded, that these lines right here might have faded and become like these lighter lines here. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, this is obviously very yellowed and very disgusting and 70 or whatever years old. But anyway, so here's the new material, here's the original. So part of the reason I'm so excited about this, guys, is we can actually go and look at these. My upholstery guy can, and he can see the exact way that these were stitched together. He can see where these seams are supposed to be, like on the corners. Look at this stitching here all along. This would be the top front edge of the, let's see, that should be, yeah, that should be the top front edge of the front seat backs. So yeah, guys, we are gonna be reproducing these things exactly for my car. So again, unfortunately, I don't have the bottoms of the front seats, but I have been collecting a ton of pictures that show how the bottoms, well, how all the seats are put together as far as where the seams and stuff are. And then we know now, because we have an example here of exactly how the seams were all done. And you know, there's a bunch of different ways that you can seam pieces of fabric together when making, you know, a seat cover. And so this is actually very cool that we have this and we can see exactly how these things were made and emulated pretty much exactly. So not a problem for Santiago since we have these. So there's that. And then also what I think is cool, and again, here I am nerding out, guys, is I knew that the back of the backrest of the back seat was cardboard. But I have pictures of it, but again, super cool to be able to see exactly how it was put in and where and the exact size, and even how it was, oh, there's some original fabric right there that's probably never seen the sun before. How it was put in, you know, the exact location of these sort of vent holes. So yeah, guys, I am totally nerding out on the fact that we found this original upholstery underneath those covers. So super good day for me, guys. I'm, again, very ecstatic. I told Santiago earlier I felt like a kid on Christmas morning when he started removing the seat covers and we started uncovering this original upholstery. So that is pretty much it for the split window today. Let me show you guys, though. So Santiago's working on it, so it's over here. So he's working on customers' cars today, unlike me, that I'm playing with my own stuff. But I just wanted to show you guys real quick. The headliner in the Baja Bug is done as of yesterday, actually. And so today he is starting on the carpet. So you can see he's actually already got the glue on the rear fender wells and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, take a look at this headliner, guys. Anyone who's seen our upholstery in our shop before is probably not surprised by how amazing this looks. And again, I know it sounds self-serving, but this guy, Santiago, he is the best. Look at this, guys. I never get tired of looking at his headliners. As many as I've seen, I'm always just amazed at, you know, sort of the artistry that goes into these things. So there you go. So yeah, carpet is going in at least partially today. I think he said he would finish up the carpet Monday. We're still waiting on some seat frame pieces. Again, we're adding a back seat. We're putting in correct low back front seats. And so yeah, when those seat frames come in, they will also go to powder coating. In the meantime, he can actually start making the covers for those. And what else? He can also start making the door panels. So yeah, this thing will be coming together. I think I told the owner we'd probably be done with his interior, probably not by the end of this coming week, but probably sometime the following week. So a couple of weeks out, basically, or a little less even, and this thing will be done with a brand sprinkling new interior. Oh, we still got to obviously put the windows and stuff back in it, but you know, that's not that huge of a job in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, that's what's going on that one. And as far as my car, yeah, lots of cool stuff going on here with the upholstery and finding those buried treasures, so to speak, in there that we can use as reference, so we can really nail the originality here of all the seams and little details like this cardboard piece and stuff like that. So that's it for today, guys. The barn door, as you see, is still here. Somewhat annoyingly, our tow guys, they had some kind of issues. I'm not going to go into it. So Monday morning for sure, the barn door will be headed to a cargo terminal at LAX and flying back to Hawaii shortly thereafter. But yeah, still here, guys. I mean, not that I get tired of looking at this thing because it's freaking sick, but yeah, we're us and the owners are both wanting to get it back to him so he can start enjoying it. That's what we built the thing for. So anyway, that's it for today, everyone. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of your weekend. Keep your eyes open this weekend because I do still owe you guys 2 walk-around videos of this car, one of which will be in short format, about 2 minutes without me yapping. The other is literally like 20 minutes with me talking about pretty much all the details on this thing. So I will be dropping those this weekend at some point. So please keep your eye on the channel for those. So in the meantime, thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you again Monday. Bye.